Good afternoon and welcome to On the Spot Motorsports Media. I'm your host, Mitchell Gunter. Robert Simpson will be joining us here just in a moment. And we also have Brody Gunter joining us. He drives Legend Series cars. And so we're going to dive into that series, talk about his success so far in the 2024 season, and also try to backtrack a little bit and talk about where he came from as far as running the quarter midgets on up to the Legend Series and what's on the horizon for him. But before we get started, hey, we have to pay some bills, so bear with us, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Reliability to drive thousands of miles. Confidence for those who fly high. Redline oil products give you the power to crush the competition. And a track record of being the best. Redline oil products. You push it to the limit, we'll protect it.
The number one source of friction in your engine is not what you think. Piston rings rubbing against the cylinder walls generate more friction than any other part of the engine. More friction and temperature means more wear and less horsepower. Fortunately, the team at Total Seal knows how to reduce friction and wear through innovative piston ring design. If it takes a piston, Total Seal can build a better ring.
60 years of innovation, 60 years of attention to detail, 60 years of rigorous testing under race conditions is what makes ATI Performance Products great. ATI has been helping racers like you reach the finish line first. Today, we manufacture a wide range of high-performance parts that are track-tested and race-proven. We're passionate about performance, and that passion is what drives you to the finish line first. See everything ATI has to offer at ATIRacing.com.
Good afternoon, everyone. Robert, Brody, thank you for joining us tonight. I know that your schedule's kind of crazy at times, trying to race, trying to do schoolwork, and, school's just started back for you. And on top of that, you're also going to college at the same time. But we want to thank you into the show, and so we can dive into the Legends series.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for coming on, Brody. Go ahead, Mitchell.
One of the first things that we want to do is, kind of do a refresher, because we may have some people on here that don't know you and how you came up through the ranks. And so I want you to explain to them how you actually started getting into racing and at what age that you began doing it.
For as long as I can remember, I've always been interested in racing. My mom's dad, my grandfather, he was probably the main reason for that, as he introduced it to me. And I kind of fell in love with it from the start. And then kind of around 6, I got my first car, a quarter midget. And I later would start my first race, I think at 7 years old. And would do that for 7 years until now I'm in the legend car racing, obviously, which this is my 4th year doing that now. So I've been racing now this is my 11th year. Doesn't feel like it, but.
Well,
would you run in a legend? I mean, not the legends, but the quarter midgets. How many track championships did you have over that period of time that you were racing down in New Smyrna?
I would believe it 11 championships over 4 years and 4 different series.
Oh my gracious. Okay, Mitchell, that puts us and anybody we've talked to shame. I mean, that is absolutely amazing, young man, for your age, that accomplishment alone. What's the difference now? The quarter midgets. Now, did you run them on pavement or dirt?
They can race on pavement and dirt, but I mostly raced it on pavement. I think I did one dirt race like during my first year as like an experience thing, but I've mostly ran obviously on pavement.
Okay, whereas the current legends are also on an oval, correct?
They can race on kind of anything. They race on paved oval, dirt ovals, even road courses. Mostly in the you'll see that in Europe across seas. But again, I mostly race them on just paved ovals. I haven't tried it in a dirt yet, but I've heard it's a lot of fun.
I imagine it is. And how tight is the track that you run? Is it like a quarter-mile oval, 3/8 oval? What?
The smallest I've seen is a 1/5 of a mile to the biggest I've seen is 1/2 a mile to 4/10 of a mile. Road courses obviously are much bigger. I think I've raced on 1.5 mile road course is the biggest I've been on.
Whew, okay, that 1/5 mile, that's a bull ring.
Yes,
I can't imagine. I mean, literally your last car and first place car nose to bumper. I can't imagine. I guess that's just no straightaway. It's just a constant turn the whole time. I'm sure. That's absolutely amazing. Now, go ahead, Mitchell.
Oh, you're good, Robert.
No. I was going to go right into because I'm fascinated because I've never had an opportunity to speak to a racer of a legend that runs a legend car. So I'm fascinated. Can you tell everybody about it, a little bit about the rules of the class, engine size and weights and whatnot, things like that?
it's like the things like about the car, like size,
Exactly.
weight, and okay.
Exactly.
They have a well. One thing is the main thing about it is they run a motorcycle engine kind of. They have FC09s, I believe an MT09, 1250. So all motorcycle engines. It's kind of the main difference that sets them off for obviously paved oval racing. But they range from like 125. It's an average of 125 horsepower in a car that weighs 1,250 pounds. So you have an engine that has a tenth of the horsepower of how much the car weighs. So they get up to some crazy speeds and are very hard to control. But they're about the size of a third of the size of a full size car.
Right.
So
Well, and one of the things I just want to explain to some people, I see some people popping on here, and I shared this to a couple of NASCAR sites. And the reason why I wanted to share it to some NASCAR sites because we have so many drivers that are now that races in NASCAR that actually came through racing quarter midgets in a Legend Series. One of those is Joey Logano. He did that. I know you have sat down and talked with him a couple of times, and he was blown away how things have changed from the time that he was in those cars to what they are now. But I just wanted to explain to everybody why we shared this to some of the NASCAR pages, because it is like the ground roots of drivers coming up in the series to run ARCA, the Truck Series, and so forth, and hopefully make it up the Cup. Sorry, I mean to cut you off, but I just wanted to explain that why some people were popping on.
No, that's good. It's good. I mean, you helped me because I didn't know. I mean, I know a lot of drivers have come up. A lot of current NASCAR racers and stuff have come up through the ranks using Legends as a stepping stone and whatnot. But still, I'm just kind of unfamiliar with all the little ins and outs as far as the chassis designs. Like I have noticed that of the cars that they offer, they typically have like a coupe design, like it's based off like a 36 Chevrolet, a 36 Ford, the appearance of it. And I've noticed a coupe and I've noticed a sedan. Now, is there any chassis difference between the two, or is it just a preference of which body you prefer?
There's definitely chassis and body differences. I first started when at Legends, I had a sedan. I believe a 2-bar sedan because it's 2-bar and a 4-bar sedan.
Okay.
Okay. Kind of with difference between the roll cages, but I don't really know much about the difference between the two. But the 2-bar sedan is obviously much bigger. It has more weight toward the rear, and the body design is it's kind of longer and more flatter. So it kind of, in a way, it's a bit more common in dirt tracks and like I said, overseas for road courses, because I think it has more of it's easier to have stability wise. It's easier to save and maybe carry a drift in it better. And I've heard the body acts as more like a wing for like a sprint car with how like big it is. Meanwhile, a coupe, which is what I run now, which I went to last year, it is more weight centered, which helps it be able to tone for smaller tracks and helps it be able to cut better and corner faster. I feel like both can win a race in any scenario. It's just which one do you prefer? Coupes nowadays are more common in probably in America, whether paved or dirt, and overseas you'll see probably more sedans.
Oh, that explains.
Was there a time that you actually use your sedan to run the Rovals?
Yes, sir.
Other than the coupe?
Yes, sir. We kind of still have both cars. They're both used. The sedan is much more of a used car than the coupe right now, but we ran the coupe all last year, and then during the winter at the road course at Charlotte Motor Speedway, we switched the sedan and went back to that just for that race. Kind of more as a setup thing instead of to change the car and the coupe back and forth between the road course and oval setup.
I got you. That does make sense. Both cars have a slight different chassis design, which helps one for let's say a larger course, you know what I mean? And the other, like you said, is more tight and nimble, the coupe that you're signing. So going along the lines of that, the drivetrain I'm assuming it's like a spec drivetrain, correct? The engine like is a spec drivetrain and tires are spec, that kind of things?
Yes, so there's not much you can adjust to a legend car. Most of it, like it's kind of like NASCAR. They give you an engine, they give you parts that you kind of have to use. The small things you can do here and there, may like the cheaper or the slightly better, like maybe exhaust or like shocks.
Right.
Even kind of brakes, you can decide if you want to run rear brake disc or rear brake drums. You can make the decision because it used to be the cars used to have front brake disc and
Right.
rear brake drums. Now they have the option of you can run entirely brake disc, which has been a huge difference in how those cars drive because they're much more stable and can brake, I feel like, deeper into a corner.
Well, and it also seems like, going to a disc than from a drum, the brakes are easier to cool off, have a better cool off cycle, while you're running down the straightaways than you would with a drum,
Yes, so.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. But tell me, how fast do they go? Because I mean,
if
you got one on 4/10 of a mile, it's got to cook.
I know at Charlotte Motor Speedway, a quarter mile on where they race in the front straightaway. Probably the coolest thing you'll probably ever do in a legend car is racing on the front straightaway of Charlotte, going down the pit lane and all that. But I think our average speed was 50 miles an hour with a top speed of like 83. But on road courses, I've gotten up to like 105, 115, I want to say.
And some people might not think, well, that speed is not like, like amazing compared to some things. But when you start comparing the size of the vehicle, and I've stood next to them and they are very, very small, very tight. Small. So when you start getting in that kind of quarters and then that speed, and then literally, I'm exaggerating when I say this, you can reach out and touch the next driver next to you. I know when you're tight, I mean, but I mean, really at that speed, being that tight, it's very impressive. It really, really is.
No, it's definitely a small car. It's almost like an open wheel styled car with a roof. Like you can stick both hands out both windows at the same time. It's how like kind of tight it is.
I like that idea actually. To help you out a little bit.
You don't want to do it as you're driving though.
No, of course not. Of course not.
You wouldn't go very far to say that.
Right,
Robert. You might pull back a nub.
You what?
You're pulling back a nub.
Oh yeah. People might frown upon that. That might not be good. Well, tell me something. Do these have gearboxes or do they have like an in and out box?
They have gearboxes. I think I don't know exactly what in and out box is, but
in and out box is like a sprint car. That's what I meant. You got to get push started.
No, it's like an actual transmission, similar to what NASCAR uses. Actually, almost down to a T. I mean, kind of works like a motorcycle engine does. It's a sequential shifter. So you push it forward and backward to shift. You push it forward to get in the first gear, and then backward from there to get in the second, third, fourth, and fifth.
I got you. And then of course downshifting, back, forward, etc.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that totally makes sense. Now, do you do standing starts or moving starts?
Moving starts, rolling starts. Yes. I haven't seen a standing start yet in a legend car. I had seen one person take it to a drag strip just to see like what it could do. I don't know exactly how they did it, but I'm sure it did pretty well for how light it is.
Oh, Mitchell, we got to look that up. There's got to be a video somewhere.
Robert, we might want to buy some legends and drag race them.
Well, we know Tim Pafford, and Tim took a late model, and he went drag racing with it. I haven't seen it yet, but he's drag racing with a late model, and apparently it's working well. But I don't, like I said, I haven't seen it yet. But I'm like, why not? You know what I mean? As long as it's safe and stuff like that, and you track straight. Yeah, I don't know. I just find it fascinating. Now, tell me, what's the biggest draw to Legends? Because you started a quarter midget, and I'm assuming there was other avenues of karting and stuff like that you could go with. What drew you to Legends?
I guess by kart you mean like what, like basically other like car classes.
Oh, I'm at karting, open wheel karting. You could I know you could have gone to other divisions. I know from quarter midget, then you could have pursued up a different avenue of doing karts. karting, open wheel karting, for progressing up in your career. I just wonder what drew you to legend cars over others.
I think it's kind of the core message was very similar to like a open wheel go kart kind of thing. So we kind of decided to go the more over route, and the next cheapest thing on that list is a legend car, because they are much actually cheaper than a late model, as you can imagine.
That makes sense. That totally makes sense. See, Mitchell, I like that. He's got common sense. keep competing, but let's do it in the most budget friendly way. You know what I mean? Because of course racing is never going to be cheap. We all understand that, but nevertheless,
I mean, there's one kind of class we kind of did skip that we could have gone to, called Bandoleros. They're made and run by the same people, made by US Legends and run by NX, same people that always make the legend cars. They are much smaller. If I had to describe it, it's kind of like a NASCAR scaled down to like 1/8 of the size, maybe like 1/6 of the size.
Oh.
And it has with a go-kart engine and go-kart tires.
Oh, okay. I've heard the name, but I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know if that was like an age class or if that was actually a car class, and you described it as a car class.
Yeah, it's a car class. It's very different from the Legends. I mean, you have one car, it's a manual shifting, like kind of smaller race car, and you have one it's like a kind of just a bigger go-kart without any shifting, no suspension at all, except like maybe some shocks in the rear end, but two very different cars.
Oh, okay. Well, Mitchell, you might lean towards a Bandolero depending on what the price is.
Well, if you're going drag racing, I would not recommend the Bando.
No.
It would not be pretty if you hit.
No, it would not be pretty.
No. But you take a lot of those drivers that drive the Bandoleros, they eventually do move up pretty rapidly and get into the division of Young Lions. Is that correct? And the Legends?
Yes, so it kind of depends on that age. They don't have to go to Young Lions. Young Lions is meant for ages, I believe now 10 to 15, if I'm correct. And then semi-pro, which I run, is for ages 16 to 39. So it depends what age they move up. If they move up with they're like 17 or 18, they move up, they have to go to semi-pro.
Oh, that was going to be the next question I was going to ask you, is how the age breaks happen. And Legends, you start, what's it, the earliest that you can start age-wise in a Legend?
I believe it's now 10 years old. I think they changed it. It's either
10?
11 or 10. Yes.
Wow. Okay, I didn't expect that.
It used to be, when I started, it was 12, but they've kind of lowered it now, kind of because of late models, because that's who they're competing against, because in the late model, you can start at 12 years old as well. So to kind of beat them to it, they had to lower it back to help them get a jump on trying to lead people to go into a legend car before a late model.
Right.
I got you.
And to speak about the Young Lions, right now you have Kyle Busch's son that races in that class, and also Kevin Harvick's son.
I think Kyle Busch's son races a Bando right now.
He's still in the Bando? Okay.
Still in the Bando. You have Jamie McMurray and Kevin Harvick's son in the Legend in the Young Lions class right now. Yes.
Okay.
I got you. Wow, that's a lot to keep up with. At least for me. I'm being introduced to this tonight to this extent. I've heard several of the names as far as the classifications and stuff like that. But now tell me something. Now you said that you can start Legends at 10 and 12. Now, if I understand correctly, you can run up to 16, and then you have to step up to, I think you said, the semi-pro. Is that correct?
Yes, so.
Okay.
So I started at 14, and then when I turned 16, I had to move up to semi-pro. Which also, if you have 2 years of experience in Legend car, you have to move up to semi-pro as well. So if you can't be in Young Lions from 10 years old to 15 years old for 5 years straight, you have to move up after a certain amount of time.
Oh, okay. But I can just see a 12-year-old run against a 39-year-old in the same category, and I'm talking about that with a ton of experience is what I'm referring to.
Even further is that that's at an NX sanctioned event, so that's when NX holds an event at Charlotte or down here in Florida in Citrus, or a national event. I think this year at Virginia at Dominion. If it's a local race somewhere, just that's still NX sanctioned, but just a local race being held, they'll combine everyone. So anyone from any age that's able to race it can basically race all together.
Right.
Wow.
And so when that happens, there's qualifying, and they classify if you're A, B, C, D, E, F main, and then they take those mains and you have to race yourself into the feature, just pretty much like you would on a dirt track or a asphalt track at one of the big money races.
Yes, so you in a legend car race, you normally don't get like the most I've seen is a B main. I haven't seen a C, a D main yet. They don't, most because the fact of how many cars they'll put at once. I mean, they'll put 24 cars together on the track at once. Sometimes if there's 25, 26, they'll do that as well. The most I've seen is 28, and that did not go over well, but that was like also like my, I think, 7th or 8th race in a legend car, and it was like 28 cars made it. I started 22nd. I was like, oh gosh, this is going to be so bad. And eventually it was, but luckily we'd wrecked earlier, not in the giant, possibly buying a new car wreck, but...
Well, at least you're on the inside. You know what I mean? No, you're on outside.
I was on the outside.
Yeah,
Yes.
Outside.
I was the last car to qualify in on time. 22 cars transferred just straight up from qualifying. I was 22nd fastest. So I avoided the, if I'm correct, the 16 car B main.
Oh man.
Well,
Now what is it? Now, did they take the top 8 in transfer?
From the B main, it took top 6.
Top 6. Whew. Okay, I got to go see one, Mitchell. I got to go see one. I've seen them on TV, and I mean, I like them. I mean, I like competition, but I like, anyway.
And to tell you, Robert, to tell you how competitive it is, and Brody can probably back me up on this, but at times NASCAR drivers will come back and drive legends at times. Even this summer shootout that was sponsored by Cookout Restaurants up there in Charlotte that Brody raced in, Bubba Wallace came in and got behind the wheel of one of those legends. So some of the NASCAR drivers will go back to their roots and jump in one of those legend cars and race it at times.
I think that's
Which
good.
I think is pretty neat.
Yeah, it keeps their skills sharp, but also it brings attention to the category, which helps young drivers like yourself, the attention that the class deserves, which is good. I mean, I like that. But aren't you racing all through the summer? Aren't you racing in a series in Charlotte?
We just finished that up a couple weeks ago. Yes, sir. It was a 10 race series spread over 8 weeks.
Okay. Now, Mitchell, you know the next question I'm going with when we're talking about that, I'm sure. Brody, you live in Stark, Florida, do you not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you're competing in a series in Charlotte, North Carolina, where there's a race, I believe, at the time, it was every Tuesday, correct?
Yes, sir. Sometimes Monday and Tuesday.
Okay, sometimes Monday and Tuesday. Please share with me your travel schedule.
A travel schedule would be at the beginning of the season, or just if it's a doubleheader race, we would leave Sunday morning, like 8 or 9 in the morning, and then not get there till like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Because it's a 7-hour drive, with stopping for like food and like bathroom breaks and all that for my sister. And if there's no traffic, it's a 7-hour trip. Then we'll practice Monday or race Monday if it's a doubleheader, then race Tuesday, and then leave either that night Tuesday and drive like 4 hours to a hotel, or leave the next morning and drive all the way back 7 hours.
Whoo!
And it really stinks is when you get a rain out.
Yes, that was one of the most aggravating. And one day, the practice session, before the whole event, they did like a 1 day, like you can practice, test the cars and all that. We drove up, got there, watched it rain for like 30 minutes. It canceled it. We drove back the same day.
Oh, ouch!
Luckily, so it just goes to show you there's a lot of determination on just trying to make it up there. To be able to compete,
I had to thank my mom for that, for driving that round trip, because I would have helped her, but we had a rental car, and I'm not old enough to drive a rental car yet, even though I have a license, so I couldn't. As much as I kept trying to convince her, could we try it? Just let me just sneak in a couple of hours for you, but she wouldn't let me.
No, that's what moms do. They take care of you. So I could see that, but that's impressive. And like Mitchell said, that the determination that you and your family have, and your commitment to the series. Now, do the cars stay up there, or do the cars you bring them back each and every time?
We race for a team called Team 510 Racing. There's a guy named Todd McCollum. He holds our cars at his house and like his shop for us. He works on them for us, brings to the track. That's him on the left next to me. He holds our cars for us, works on them for us, brings to the track for us, and then takes it back to his shop for us. He's my crew chief, a driver coach, and I can't thank him. I got to thank him for everything he's done for me since I've started Legend Cars, because he's been my crew chief ever since.
That's good. I mean, that's super helpful.
Hey, Brody, I actually have a video I want to share real quick, and it was from the Cookout Summer Series at Charlotte. And then, want to kind of dive into that, talk a little bit about that series, what happened along the way out of those 10 races, talk about how many number one qualifiers, how many top fives and on. But this was actually a video of your first national win, and we want to share it with everybody. This is I believe the white flag lap right here, taking the check.
Yes, the very big moment.
Shuffles to the bottom. White flag in the air for Brody Gunter.
Trying to get that shot back. Murray goes back to second on Risley, but can he run back down Gunter? I don't think he can. Here comes Brody Gunter from the third spot from Stark, Florida. He will become now the third different winner of the year in the Legends division here.
So what was that feeling like when you were able to get out front, keep the lead, taking the white flag with one lap to go, and really didn't feel too much pressure from behind and grab the win? What was that like to grab your first national win?
Yes, sir. I think that was actually from Wake County earlier in the year, I think.
That was from Wake County?
That was from Wake,
okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
But still, same question.
Same question for that race. It was, that scenario was kind of a little different. It was a one-lap shootout at Charlotte, restart and all. It was one lap to go. I was running second. The guy in front of me probably would have won the race. He had a half it straight away on me, and he was coming to the checker, and the caution came out. But I was kind of sitting there. Yeah, kind of bad for him, but he would later on get he would get 4 wins in the rest of the season, so I didn't feel too bad at the same time. But
Exactly. But I mean, you got to be in it to win it. But go ahead.
Yes, I was sitting there. He messed up on the wheel spinning on the restart. I went to turn 1, gave him just the slight little bump. I did bump and move him out of the way. Got to his inside on the back straightaway. And then I think we were both sitting there going for our first win, what would be our first wins each of that series of the Cookout Shootout. And I was like, I'm committed to staying in it no matter what. And I could tell he was too. We went in. I drove half my car to the grass. We doored. And then I think it was, like I told everyone, it was in that moment I think I looked in my mirror, saw there was no one that was close enough to get me, and time just kind of froze. And it took an hour for me to get to the finish line. It took an hour for me to get back to the victory line. It took me an hour to do everything, because it was just, everything didn't feel real, or it didn't feel like it could actually happen. It finally did. It was really just amazing. I felt like I couldn't believe it for a whole week.
I imagine so. Yeah, like anything, I mean, your first big win. Because how long had you been in the series before this win?
That was my
4 years.
That was my 4th time doing that series.
Okay, so
yes,
4 years in a series before you get your first win. That shows your stick-to-itiveness to it for sure. But man, I bet that last lap was good. Like you said, door to door. Now, did y'all both get back to the start-finish line?
Yes, sir. I think he finished 3rd. If he didn't, I was also watching my mirror, because I was like, if he wrecked, I don't win because I get penalized for it. So I was trying to figure out at the same time, is he going to be able to keep going? So I was watching him, making sure he's still moving. And as soon as I saw him come back around the outside, I was like, holy cow, I it's going to happen. I'm looking at the checkered flag. It's coming up.
I agree, because that's the kind of racing I like. Wheel to wheel, you bump and all that stuff like that. But as long as you get back, both of y'all get back around, to me, that's where it's at, versus obviously some other people consider racing. I don't. We know what we mean. Go ahead, Mitchell.
So we know that was your first win there, but you also got some other hardware along the way. How many poles did you win?
In that series, in that 10 race series over the 10 races, we got 3 poles, the most out of everyone. 6 top 5s, and that 1 win. I want to say I got 8 top 10s. I think every race we finished, I got top 10. I think.
Right.
Wow.
And you only have what, 1 D and Q? I mean, sorry, not D and Q, but did not finish.
We had 1. I remember. I think we had 1 DNF and 1 where I think I technically finished, but I got wrecked in the last lap as I was leading.
Of course. It's always that way.
So they counted me as last car in the lead lap in that one. So I technically did finish, but I didn't get back to, I guess, the checker they counted as.
Right.
I got you.
And you were actually able to, with your winning your poles and so many top 5s, with that win, you were able to finish the series 3rd in points overall.
Yes, sir. The 2 that finished in front of me, one was the one that said I got 4 wins. The other one got 3. They got more. I'd say our biggest weakness during that series was luck. It's really funny to me how we had more top 5s, more poles, a win compared to last year. Yet, but I did worse in points. I don't know how that works out, because I got 2nd in points last year. So I don't know how that works out, but I think it's just our bad luck. Our 2 DNFs hurt us, because last year we didn't have any DNFs.
Right. Now you did end up getting a little bit of damage to your car in that one accident, and you were able to race the rest of the series and finish it and do very well in a car that had a problem with the front clip. And what do you owe that to? Is it just drivability and experience to be able to steer a car that has that damage to the front end?
Well, first I want to thank Todd and everyone at 510 for getting the car back together. First off, that was a race on a Monday. It got wrecked on Monday. He got it fixed enough for it to race again all in one night, and we raced again the next day on Tuesday. So I got to thank him for being able to do that, because he stayed up the entire night working on that car for me and my teammate to get back in the race the next day. But it was still damaged the rest of the series, and you could tell, because I felt like our long run speed over the races kind of dropped off after that one wreck. But we were able to limp it home. I think it's finally now fixed to its full, like, kind of brand new kind of thing.
Now you were able to win a pole.
Yes, sir.
With it like that. So that right there was remarkable in itself, to be able to come back out, and because you really don't know how the car is really going to handle, and you were able to drive it to win one of the poles.
Yes, sir. I think that was the same. I think that was it was the doubleheader. So I think we qualified on pole Monday, and then had gotten the wreck later on, then qualified on pole Tuesday. So back to back poles. Problem is, like I said, we got the most poles, but how they do the cookout semi shootout is they do an invite, a random invite. Though before the race, you don't know where you're gonna start. The guy that wins the race before you rolls a dice that has 1 through 6 on it, and whatever it lands on is the invite.
Now, when you say 1 through 6 as an invert, does that mean like the first car inverts to?
Like if it's a 1, no one's invites. 2, top 2 invite. It's a 4, top 4 invite. 6, top 6 invite. Yeah.
Got you. Yeah. Okay. That's why I was trying to piece that together. And Mitchell, I think you're right. We were talking, Brody, before you came on, and he was mentioning that, just like you said, I mean, wreck car, and still was able to finish well and get the pole and stuff like that. We're kind of joking like, well, maybe it now has more wedge in it than it did before. You know what I mean? Maybe it has more camber in it and it's actually working. You know what I mean? Maybe it's something like that.
I don't know.
You see it. You see it in NASCAR sometimes. You know, a car gets a little damaged, and next thing you know, shoot, their car's running better than what it was before it was damaged.
I've never driven a car where it's gotten damaged and it's like, oh, this thing actually handles better. I think it's more of a thing of when you in a race, when it gets wrecked at the beginning, at some drivers, it can either hurt them or help them. I think me, it's one of those that helps me. The fact of now, it's just, well, it's already dead, killed. So let's just drive it as hard as we can, see where it goes.
Yeah. See what cards you're dealt. See, kind of go with how it handles, and make it work. So,
right now, Brody, in that series, the summer shootout, you have to race all 10 races with the same car, same motor, same tires. Nothing can be changed on it like that, except for, of course, your springs and things like that. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty much set. You have to run everything, whole 10 races, and if you can't make it, you're just out the rest of the series.
Really?
Well, I do think because I know some drivers are being backup cars. You can swap out a car, the whole entire car mid-season. It's as long as it's still legal. The only thing you have to run the entire season is tires.
Okay, the tires.
They give you 6 tires at the start of the series. You have to run one of those 6 tires. You can trade out one of the 6 tires if they get damaged, like they go flat, or having, because I had one of mine had that happen in one of the wrecks. It like cut the tire wall, so we got able to get a new tire to replace that one.
Okay, I'm glad that you explained that to me with the rules. I thought that you had to pretty much, you'll have the tire sets, and then you had to continue running what you brought. Your chassis. You couldn't switch, but you can if it gets damaged. You can bring out your backup car as long as it meets the specs.
If you have a backup car
in the series.
If you have a backup car.
Yeah, if you have a backup car.
I mean, I have a backup car. My backup car is a sedan that's currently sitting on a shelf with no tires. I don't think an engine in it right now. So don't really have a backup car.
Okay, you have to scramble. Okay. You hope you got a caution for quite a bit. You'd have to scramble to get it together, but it can happen. It's what it does. Now tell me, you don't mean 6 individual, you mean 6 sets of tires, correct?
No, 6 individual tires.
Really? Okay, that's even more impressive.
So one set and 2 spares.
Okay. Now tell me, obviously I heard what you said about the motor. So let's say through no circumstances or no actions of your own, for whatever reason, an engine blew. Okay, somewhere during the series. Does that mean that you cannot replace that engine with another spec engine and come back the next week? Or does that mean you have to have a completely different car altogether if you want to compete in the series again?
You can trade out that engine and keep the same car. Because what we kind of did was there's 2. Let's say I guess there's 3 optional motors I mentioned earlier: the 1250, Z09, FZ09, and MT09. The newest one being the MT09. We started at the beginning of the season with beginning of the series, with an FZ09. I think did 3 races with it, and then after that 3rd race, nothing was wrong with the FZ09. We just felt like the MT09 was better. It's more electronic. It has like an actual it curves the torque of the engine like electronically. The pedal is electronic. It helps it exit. And a track like Charlotte Motor Speedway, a quarter mile, where acceleration is crucial when you're wheel spinning, it helps a lot. That track, I felt like. So we swapped it out to the week 3, win the week 4 with that MT09, brand new engine, and then we would later on win.
That totally makes sense. Each engine has a little bit of a torque curve difference, and depending on where you compete at, and just like you said, one that has the torque that you need down low but controllable. That being that totally makes sense. Okay. I'm glad. I thank you for explaining that, because that makes sense. And we got to get just the quickest accelerating one, Mitchell. That's just all it is to
it. Well, Brody, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about tonight is, what are the type of things that you want to do moving forward? Do you still have, your sights set on possibly running super late models or ARCA series, or, Yeah, I know last time we had you on the show, you was pretty much open to drive for anyone if they offered you something. So
If anyone offered me anything, yeah, just drive. It's to drive whatever. But right now, I mean, we'd like to try just running a limited late model stock. It's just the problem is that is very expensive. Like we've looked at it, and I think if we would have put everything into it, we'd only be able to run like a few races compared to like I think us running 25 to 30 legend races right now. So even if we were able to pull everything together to be able to do it, it's not going to be that much, I guess, to not really go very far with it, sadly.
I see what you're saying. I mean, racing is expensive. Years ago, even talking to Tony Stewart, years ago, that, people would reach out to bring racers in to their program to drive for them. Now racers have to bring sponsors and money with them into the program, so
Right.
it makes it a whole lot harder to do that. And like Tony Stewart said, Super Late Models was a big hit, and it grew so fast, and so many people is racing in it now. It's really hard to find marketing partners to come on board because the market is being dried up because there's so many people running those series. And so that's kind of sad. But then again, you see that the love for racing that class is still out there and still kicking big time. It's a plus and a negative at the same time.
Right.
I would love to see you get into late models and start running those. We even went out to the rally racing event that was here in Bradford County.
The Nitro
Nitro Rally
Cross.
Yeah.
Right.
And we was able to talk to a couple of drivers and stuff with that, so you could kind of feel what's going on. It wasn't quite, I don't think, your cup of tea to race that type of format.
But I'd still do it if they offered.
I was getting ready to say he's a racer. He would get. He would want to do it.
I mean, it wasn't. Yeah, definitely. It's not over racing, but man, those things did look cool. I'll be honest.
It's pretty neat to do the big old jumps, right?
Well, just the fact, I mean, that what that car is, I mean, it's a kind of similar to a Legend. If I think about it, it's light, it's high horsepower, 4-wheel drive. It's something that a lot of race cars don't have. Handbrake, being able to do that. I mean, being able to drive it from a pavement surface to a dirt just like that. I mean, that's pretty cool to me.
I could see it expanding your driving skill by going back and forth between the dirt and the pavement on the same course, Mitchell. I mean, I can see that because, like you said, I mean, Brody, you were saying that your cars basically, depending on the wheelbase, which one, one of them is a little more forgiving. If it starts to get away a little bit, you can drift a little bit and bring it back, whereas the other one's a little more nimble. So just seeing you at the firm out there, I can see that being a helpful off-season thing, and a lot of fun, and a whole lot of fun. And you can take Mitchell and just beat up on him, left and right. But Brody, also share with us who are you working with? Who's your marketing partners that you currently work with?
I think marketing partners right now we don't have any. I think it's my mom and dad and myself. I guess if you kind of tell it is right now.
I got you. But don't you have a business back here in Stark that y'all work at?
No,
maybe I'm mistaken.
That's what I don't.
He mows grass.
Yes.
And helps out my dad, which also helps Brody out.
I mean, I guess we have a couple smaller, I guess, that like people that helped, I guess, like especially with the shootout, people that funded, I guess helped us be able to run the shootout. But I don't really have any like, I guess, main marketing partners. I guess like that. We don't have like a true full season Sony pays, but we had some people that helped us for the shootout over the summer, which I appreciate. We had also some people just donate which you put their name on the back of the car for all they helped with.
That's true. That's true. And I mean, it's like people that watch this, they are introduced to you for the first time, and they've seen on how determined that you and your family are on not only supporting the series, but supporting you and getting up there, your travel time, your dedication to the series, your accomplishments. It just goes to show that you would be an excellent addition to anybody's marketing. I mean, whether it be Redline Oil, Hoosier Tires, or others, you'd be a great addition. I mean, because like you said, your next step up from legend, who knows what it's going to be. It's going to
You're marketable.
You're very, very marketable. So, and believe me, if Mitchell and I could, we'd have OTS all over your car. You know, we would. I'd have cameras inside your car and all that stuff. We'd be having a good time with it. But absolutely, if we could, we would back you 100%. You know, really, like you said. So, sorry, I'll stop now.
The whole thing that y'all did for Charlotte for the summer cookout series of having people put their names and stuff on your car, that's actually becoming pretty popular through many different organizations of racing. You see it in NASCAR some. I mentioned that Cami Caruso, she's getting ready to make her comeback after an accident that she had that left her leg broke and had to go through rehab. We had her on here. She's running a special for the 70th anniversary of the U.S. Nationals, where she's making her comeback, and she's got opportunity for people to buy spots on her car for $100. You get your name put on the car. So that is a very good marketing tool with the individual person who don't have $10,000, but they would like to try to help out in some way or another to do. And, you know, I see a lot more teams doing that down the road. If they're at a point, hey, I don't have no marketing partners to help me for the next two events, but hey, I can reach out to my fans. If you give me so much money, we'll put your name on the car. And like Camry, what she's doing is she's sending a 18 by 24 poster of the car that will show the name of the person. They're doing autograph handouts and an autographed T-shirt, and then Big Jeff Audio that's actually located in Ocala, Florida.
Yep.
He's giving some gifts away to those fans as well. So I think it's pretty neat. I think that you should shoot for that again next year at the summer shootout and have it known. I just need to communicate with you a little bit and see if we can put it out on some of these NASCAR sites and see if some of those fans would like to contribute as well, to have their name on the legend.
We'll do whatever we can do to help because it's, like I said, you're a good, talented racer. And like I said, everybody that would like to support Brody and his family can reach out to him. And like Mitchell was saying, every little bit helps. Whether it be something for even food, for travels, for hotels, or something like that. Like I said, it's all the little things add up to big stuff. So you don't have to think like, oh, I don't have a lot of money or whatever like that. Every little bit helps. So,
and that's one of the reasons why me and Robert do this show, because we want to shine a spotlight on not just racers. I mean, if you watch and look at the content, we're not just talking to racers. We're talking to companies and manufacturers. We're talking to owners, because we want to be well-rounded around the sport. Mm-hmm. And, we're starting to dive a little bit more NASCAR and stuff on our page. And we want to highlight, drivers to help them find marketing partners. We had a young lady on here about a month or so ago, and she lives in Australia, and she said that she would like to come over here and race in the United States. And she says, I just need someone to rent a car from. And she didn't think about it. And I told her, I says, I know who you can rent a car from. You went through his school.
Yeah.
And she said, the Frank Holly's Drag Racing School. You can rent their dragsters and compete in divisional races. She goes, really? I said, really? I said,
So,
now you'll have to call Mr. Holly and ask him how much. But
oh yeah. She's got to flip the bill. She's got to line that up. But
and the thing is, the guys are there to work on the car for her. But that's the whole thing. We want to shed the spotlight on everybody that we bring onto the show and try to help them out in any way we can. And I'll tell you, if someone comes on here and they're with a team, a NASCAR team, and they're looking for someone to, say, drive one of their Craftsman trucks, I think they ought to give you a try to come out to the track, make a couple laps in it, and for you to showcase your talents. I think you're a very talented driver. You've grown up around it ever since you were 6 years old driving, and your driving skill is up here. When you take the average 30-year-old that has been driving ever since he was 16, he's about right here as driving level. I mean, I'm just being honest, because driving a car, how to correct it if something happens, and most adults don't. That's the skill set that you have and that you're able to bring to the table.
Brody speaks us at this point.
And the thing is, I think that driving over and over as you gotten older, you're able to break down to your crew chief of what's going on with the car. If you're tied in or tied out, loose in, loose out, you can explain that to make those adjustments for you.
Yeah, it comes with experience, that you're doing. Now, what else do you like to do besides race? Or do you? I'm sure you probably don't have much time, but do you have any other hobbies or any other things that you enjoy doing?
That aren't on race oriented.
Well, it could be racing related.
The only thing I do other than racing is racing. I do video game racing. And other than that,
that's right.
iRacing, yes.
iRacing. That's it.
Or just on my phone playing racing games. Or if I'm not racing, I'm doing schoolwork. It's either racing or schoolwork with me. That's the only things I can talk about. Only things I love or care about, I guess.
I got you.
Now, as far as education, Brody, I know you're an A student. You're in your senior year. You're also attending classes at college. Mm-hmm. What do you kind of want to do after that? Say if the racing thing doesn't work out and you're not able to move up to the next level, what kind of things do you want to do as far as a career with your education?
I want to try and go into mechanical engineering. So I can that's if I can't race the car, I want to be involved in racing in any way I can. Whether it be working on the car, helping with the car. I just want to be around it if possible.
I agree. Where are you currently going? I know you're a senior, but you're currently studying some college courses. Where are you going for that? Santa Fe?
Right now I'm at Santa Fe. Yes, sir.
Okay. That's excellent, because then once you graduate, where are you looking at going to college?
We've looked up in North Carolina at UNC Charlotte. That's kind of the main one right now we've looked at. They have really cool motorsports programs. Like where actually one of the coolest I've raced against is where they'll take a class, they'll work on an actual legend car and bring it to the track and pick one of the students to race the car, and they'll race in the class with us.
Oh, that's really neat.
You want to be drafted so bad in that one. I know. I can just picture it. You lay it on, just laying there over top of it. No, you better pick me. Trust me.
Yeah, I've raced against I don't think they did it this year, but they done it the last I think 3 years we've done it. They've even done the road course, the oval. Usually I feel bad for them sometimes because I watched one kid go out there and then immediately wreck the car in the first round of practice, and it's like, yeah, maybe. But I guess they're learning how to fix it. But
yeah, exactly. I mean, things happen. It is what it is. But okay, no, I can see that. I can see you studying at Santa Fe, transferring to UNC Charlotte, Okay, get your mechanical engineering degree while at the same time driving a late model, and then getting the call to move up in the series, all with your degree. Okay, I can see that. That's a good plan.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
exactly.
Well, and the good thing, Brody,
mayhap that's a dream more than I think the plan more.
True, but you got to have goals, right?
The racing half is made more of a dream, and then the school/degree path is more of the goal. That makes sense.
Yes, that does. That does.
And the good thing about going up there to North Carolina to college, I mean, it is NASCAR country. I mean, all the shops are there. Which is pretty neat. And I want to tell anybody that's watching, if you've never been to Charlotte, and you can go visit these shops. That's what's so cool about the atmosphere there in North Carolina. If you want to go to Hendricks Motorsports, you can check it out. 2311 Motorsports, any of those, it's pretty daggum cool that you can do it.
Yes, and
they got nice souvenirs too.
Yes, they're all like right next to each other too. I think they're all within like 30 to at most 40 minutes drive to each other. I mean, they're all just right around Charlotte Motor Speedway with 4 of them, I think 3 or 4 of them actually being on the exit for the actual speedway.
Oh, really? I didn't know they had teams. Literally, their shop was on the premises of the track.
They're like very close. I think the closest one is Hendrick. If you had to wonder why Hendrick's probably so good at Charlotte, because they are literally 2 minutes away from the track.
Okay,
if they stood on their roof, they'd probably be able to see the track from their place.
Well, in the pro stock world, that makes sense. Greg Anderson and his crew, KB Titan, their shop is literally, you could throw a rolling baseball, I might add, and hit their own personal drag strip, Mooresville Dragway. I mean, if you're standing on the drag, if you're standing there next to the drag strip, you look off the back of it and you see the top of the building. I mean, you could drive the car around and drive it right in the entrance, and it wouldn't be warm.
And you're talking about KB Titan?
Yep.
Robert? Yeah,
yes,
and I tell you, that's a partnership there. KB Titan actually has a partnership with Hendricks. Greg Anderson is actually sponsored by Hendricks to promote the selling of his cars at his car lots.
Right, but they're in Mooresville, which isn't far.
Correct.
It's not far from Charlotte, but I mean, it's speaking of a shop being literally right next to the track. Yeah, you can't get much better.
David Rogers, he's actually on watching because we're producing the show on his page as well. And he actually wants to sit down with me and Robert and see if we can come up with something to help sponsor you next season. So,
yeah, see if we can come up with something and help you out. I mean,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, not going to promise you the world, but if we can help out, I'll be honest with you. But absolutely, if we can help you out, we absolutely will. And so, for sure. And I like this, Brody. I appreciate you taking the time and explaining. I know Mitchell is far more familiar with the Legends series and stuff than myself, and probably several others listening. But I appreciate you taking the time and explaining the classification to me, the chassis, the drivetrains and things like that to a novice like myself, because it makes me, whenever I do see it, to appreciate it more and to better understand it more, instead of just, hey, go get in a car. No, there's reasons why you pick one weapon versus the other. So it makes
and you taught us some things different about the rules, because I didn't know that you could actually go to a backup car. So that's pretty cool to know. Like I said, I thought you were stuck with what you had, and if you got wrecked, that was it for you. But that's good for the other drivers. They have that opportunity if they have a backup car to go to. And I tell you, the one thing I do like, you got your head in the right direction. It's on your education first, and driving Sackett. And you're a smart kid, and you're going to go far. And there's no doubt in my mind you'll get your degree. And if you don't get the race, you'll definitely be working for hopefully one of those teams.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're a young man that's working hard, and like you said, you have your head screwed on the right way, and working towards your education. And then, like you said, your goal versus your dream. And so everybody out there listening to this, really reach out to Brody Gunter and his team. They'd be a great addition to whatever manufacturer you have. And like I said, it doesn't matter how large or how small as far as you think your contributions might be. Every little bit helps. And like I said, to help the young man get to the next tier of not only the Legends competition, but stepping up in the series to, I think, is it late models? Is that the next step up? Late models?
The next would be, yes, late models.
Okay. Next step up to late models. But obviously people would need to come forward and help out with that to obtain that goal. So, but I think it's obtainable.
I asked his mom, would it be okay if he ran World Series of Outlaws? And his mom was like, no.
Hey, at least it's not a Silver Crown car. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yes, I've seen those things. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think Mom would let you go in the World of Outlaws before a Silver Crown. Just guessing. You know, either that or Chili Bowl. She'll let you run the Chili Bowl too. And you know,
Maybe.
Well, at least I'm assuming so.
I don't know. She's talked about that one as well being too dangerous. I don't know.
It's crazy, Mitchell. I don't know if you watch the Chili Bowl, but that.
Oh yes, I have. Yeah. And I love it because
you have a flip counter for the event. That's kind of tells you about how they know it's going to go.
Yes, I forgot about that. You're right. That is crazy. You got a race that has a flip counter, and I mean, it's just like a really bad video game. So, but yeah, and the fact that how high the fences are. The fences are not low. They are very high, and they're high for a reason. And so once again, anybody that's never watched the Chili Bowl, you need to go back and watch the highlight moments of that race over the years. Ooh, it's exciting.
Well, what I like about the Chili Bowl is all the different people who come there to race those cars. I mean, they come from open wheel, Indy, Formula One. We even have some NHRA drivers. We got Cruz Pentagon and Ron Capps.
Yeah,
they go and they race in it as well. And I think it's just neat that it brings in so many different organizations in there to take part in that. And it's very entertaining. Very entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. I love it. It's so crazy. I love it. But yeah, well, we hope to see you there one day, Brody. I mean, if we can't be there in person, we'll definitely be cheering you on.
Thank you.
And I want to mention something to you and your dad, and I know that it may be a little hard to do because your dad's schedule and yours. But one thing that might help you to network is to try to go up to Indianapolis to the PRI show. That's in December. And the good thing about the PRI show, I mean, you have all your different racing organizations there from IndyCar, NASCAR. I mean, it's just everything that has wheels on it. Those companies are there to network. I think it'd be a pretty good opportunity for you. And it's pretty easy. You can become a member for $29, I think it is, if you're a student, as a student member, gold member for $40. I'm a gold member of PRI. I think it's a good organization because they're also trying to save motorsports as a whole to keep it going. And I think it'd be a good opportunity for you to go. Me and Robert, we're actually going up this December to take part. We're going to be interviewing drivers and manufacturers and stuff up there because we also want to network and hopefully try to bring in sponsor dollars for our podcast. So it's a great place for a lot of people to go to network, and not everybody can make it out to Las Vegas to SEMA. So that's the closest.
That's next year. That's next year. We're going to try SEMA next year. But first thing first. But the big thing is, like Mitchell was saying, is there you go, Miss Anderson. The big thing is that it's an opportunity, like I said, to meet people that we have had an opportunity to interview, but we've only been online. Okay, so actually be there face to face and talk to them again and re-interview them, and some others that are on their teams, and to be able to help them some more to get to network a little more as far as getting sharing more out there through our podcast. So we're really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to catching up with a lot of people that we've interviewed already this year and for future. And it's been several years, Mitchell, since you and I have been. Yeah, actually, when I was in Orlando was the last time we've been to it, which has been quite a few years now.
We really wish it was still there so we didn't have to fly to Indy.
Yes. Yes, and the weather would be so much nicer. Come on, PRI, get with it. Move back to Orlando. Everybody wants to take their family, down to Orlando and go to all the stuff in Orlando.
Yeah, hop over to Daytona for a little while.
What I mean? Let's face it. You won't have to wear a jacket typically down here. So that's
don't want to wear
or kick through the snow.
Yeah. So who knows where we're going to get up there? So we'll have to plan that out.
But again, Brody, I want to thank you for coming on tonight and talking about the Legend Series and mention your team, 510 Racing, and all the things that they have done for you as developing you as you go along, become a better driver. And there's definitely more wins to come. So far, you've got 3 this year. But before we let you go, when is your next race? When's the next time that you're going to be headed up to Charlotte or to Wake? I know you raced at Wake quite a bit.
I think the next time we plan on racing is early September. Part of my birthday weekend. I think we talked about doing a race that weekend around this. I don't know what day the 6th would be on, but somewhere around the weekend of whatever the September 6th would be. I think we plan on doing Wake. Maybe even try and do a double header again. We do Wake Friday and then another track Saturday, or something like that.
Okay,
something like that. Just hearing
let everybody know. Brody's just hasn't been to North Carolina racing. He's actually, when he was in the quarter midgets, he went all the way to Indianapolis. So and was able to kiss the bricks.
Yes, I did a full lap around the actual track in a quarter midget.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm jealous of that.
It was only at like 10 miles an hour.
It doesn't matter, but you did it. You did it. That's the point. My dad and my uncle still tell me to this day when they raced the U.S. Nationals back in the 70s, Tech used to be near the track or on the infield of that track. Okay, and they wouldn't allow nobody on the track. Well, they had their tow truck, whatever, and they zipped out there without telling anybody. Of course, everybody's yelling at them as they're putting around the whole track with this ramp truck with a car on the back of it.
They need to bring back those ramp trucks, man.
Do what?
They need to bring back those ramp trucks. They were cool.
They were cool. They got their pluses and they got their minuses, but yes, they were very, very cool. And but Brody, also whenever your schedule for not only this year but next year comes out, please make sure to send it to us because we would like to put it on OTS for everybody to go to be able to follow you.
Okay, sounds good. It's I guess we never have really a set schedule. We kind of play it by ear with kind of the races go at the beginning of the year. Whether if we're involved in the wreck, that kind of knocks off a race too, depending on how bad it is, stuff like that.
I understand. But if you have like a series,
like for the shootout next year, I can send that because I know that's 10 set dates.
Exactly.
And we usually try to shoot for all 10.
Exactly. And if there's any special races that you're planning on attending, like you say, a 2-day shootout somewhere or something like that, then that has a race flyer. Make sure you send that to us. We'll be, like I said, we'll be more than happy to help promote in any way that we can.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, Brody, thank you so much for coming on tonight. We appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to come talk to us.
It's no problem. I appreciate you guys having me again. I enjoyed talking about racing, obviously, because it's what I love. So I enjoyed talking about like you said, the little bit of details or just the big things for explaining it to other people who may not know as much. I enjoy it.
That would be me. And I appreciate it. He spoke like I was a 5-year-old, and I so appreciate it.
I just want to see Robert to get into a legend. Tell him how tall you are, Robert.
I'm only 6 foot.
Yeah, but you're 6 foot, but
I'm 6 foot.
He'd fit. I'm pretty confident you'd fit.
Now tell me something. Do you get in the top or you get in on the side?
Get on the side. It has actual kind of working doors. It's a very unique for a race car. Yeah, the doors actually swing open. The sedans have sedan have regular opening doors. The coupe have suicide doors where they open toward the rear tire.
I got you. So I take it that the crash bars are pinned, they're hinged and pinned on the driver's side that you get in
to the door. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yes.
Okay. Because I'll be like, okay, I know people get in and out of them. Just I've never really watched to see how they do it.
Believe me, I'm confident anyone can fit in that car. To seeing one of my teammates be able to squeeze into one, I'm pretty confident almost anyone can get in that car.
How big's your teammate?
I can't remember exactly how tall he is, but I mean, he's like this much taller than me.
So he's over 6 foot.
I'm pretty sure he's over 6 foot. He's in the upper, I want to say 200 range. I want to say so.
Okay, I'm a little over 2 bills.
I'm probably one of the smallest drivers in my division you'll find. My Todd, my crew chief, hates me for it because my car weighs so much. Because I only weigh like 100 pounds. I'm very small and light.
There's nothing wrong with that. That means there's a lot of room to move weight around in the car.
There is, but then you push the car when there's no one. It's like just to the trailer, and it's not fun.
I get you.
Yeah. That's why he hates me for it. Because pushing around his shop, it's probably very aggravating with how heavy it is.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
Oh my goodness, I gotta push this car again.
Yeah. I'll be over. I'll see if I can get wing nuts to pull this weight off and just have them stacked on the sides and push the car. You put the weights on rollers or dolly or something like that. No, I get you. That's funny though. But okay. Well, listen, Brody, we appreciate your time, buddy, and we hope you have a wonderful night.
Thank you. You guys too.
All right, take care.
All right, take care, buddy. See you, buddy.
You guys too.
See you.
Oh, I tell you what, he's a great kid, smart student, and an excellent driver, and you know I'm proud that he's my nephew, and I tell you what,
is that where that came in? Okay, no kidding.
Bigger and better things are on the horizon for him for sure. But before we let everybody go, I want to let you know we're going to have a great guest coming on next Thursday night. Robert, you want to mention his name?
No, you go ahead.
Me? Why not?
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember which one we got next Thursday night.
Big stuff.
Yes, we got Ben a big stuff, fuel injection coming on. I'm messing with you, Mitchell. See if he's changing on me. But we have Ben a big
just trying to give you a little airtime there.
I appreciate it. We have Ben a big stuff fuel injection coming on next Thursday night to talk about all things fuel injection. He's one of the owners and engineers there, and I really enjoyed talking to him, and he loves it. He absolutely loves it. And it's interesting that everything's made in-house, American made, designed, tested, and has a long history. So tune in next Thursday to not only to learn something, but also to come with questions. And like I said, if we get some questions live on the air, then we'll ask him for a explanation or clarification or direction, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun.
Well, everyone, until next Thursday night, take care and be safe out there.
Thank you, everybody. Everybody have a good night.
With more than 30 years of engine and drivetrain experience, Big Stuff is your one-stop total power management solution. Whether you're controlling a 600 horsepower street car and want the best drivability, or have a 6,000 horsepower race car, need the most bulletproof, reliable control hardware, Big Stuff can do it all. All of our components are designed and manufactured right here in the USA, including our computers, wiring harnesses, touchscreen displays, and more. Nothing is built offshore, and we take pride in being one of the only automotive aftermarket manufacturers that can say this. Learn more at bigstuff3efi.com or connect with us on Facebook and Instagram for more information.